And no one can have the secret, the key to open up what is actually going on. And they've made this gospel, which is not a gospel, it's a sex book. That's it. All about sex.
And Genesis 3 is all about sex. That's it. It's just sex. Adam said, I heard the sound of you in the garden. And I was afraid because I was naked. So I hid myself. God formed Adam out of the dust of the earth. He made him naked. So was God himself. So he knew the sound of God's penis coming. Because he said, I heard the sound of you coming in the garden. Okay? What sound? Penis. The sound is the penis, the sound of the glory of God.
But I'm going to show you something here. So the one God, Jacob God, is speaking to Moses face to face in Exodus 33 verse 11. As a man speak unto his friend. So he has this conversation man to man. Because Moses is seeing this Yahweh's face. But there is a different God. A different Yahweh, and you will see this in Exodus 33 verse 20. You cannot see my face, for no man shall see me and live. No Adamah in Hebrew. No man can see me and live. This one is the Esau God. This one the woman will have. This one is the tree of life. For the main God, the Jacob God, is the tree of knowledge of good and evil. This is going back to the Garden of Eden, the place of sexual pleasure. That's it. So to come back to these two bridegrooms. So the one bridegroom is for the women, and you will see this in Matthew 25, the famous parable of the 10 virgins. So this bridegroom enters in and he shut the door. They took 5 virgins with him and they have mutual sex. Because a bridegroom with a virgin or multiple virgins is going to have sex or an orgy. That's what is happening in Matthew 25. It's an orgy happening in Matthew 25. 1 bridegroom, 5 virgins. How lucky. So when you read about the other bridegroom, the Jacob bridegroom, you will read this in Mark 2 verse 18 to 20. Now John's disciples and the Pharisees were fasting. Some people came and asked Jesus, how is that John's disciples and the disciples of the Pharisees are fasting but yours are not? Jesus answered, how can the guest of the bridegroom fast while he is with them, while he is with his disciples, while he is with these men? They cannot, so long as they have him with them. But the time will come when the bridegroom will be taken from them, and on that day they will fast. This one is for the men, this Jacob God that speak face to face as a man speak unto his friend. Jesus said, I have called you friends. In John, I've called you friends. Exodus 33 verse 11. This is the God for the men, the Jacob God. This is the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And you'll see that Moses made reference 3 times in the Torah that all men need 3 times in a year you shall all your men children appear before the Lord God, the God of Israel. Jacob. 3 times a year all the men shall appear before his face. The Jacob God, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. That's it. But all the women will have the tree of life, the Esau God. And Jesus made reference to this in his parables. People don't see it. People don't realize that the women will have their own God. And they will have him. And he will have them. When you read the following, and I need to read this to you. He says this to under the serpent, the snake Yahweh. There are 2 gods in Genesis 3. You will see this. And Yahweh God said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast on the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. Okay? And when you read verse 19, in the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, till thou return unto the ground. For out of it was thou taken. For dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return. The snake will eat the dust, will eat Adam. The tree of life is a separate God for the woman, but the snake God is for the men, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Because Eve was not taken from the dust, she cannot return to the dust. She was kept by God himself. And Adam was casted out. And you will see this in Genesis 3 verse 22 to 24. Adam was cast out, Eve was kept. And she had the right to the tree of life, to live forever. And Adam called his wife's name Eve, because she was the mother of all living. She had her way to the tree of life. But listen here. Therefore Yahweh God sent him forth from the Garden of Eden to till the ground from whence he was taken, Adam. So he drove out Adam, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims and flaming sword, which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. Verse 22, and Yahweh God said, behold, the man is become as one of us, the snake, the serpent, the tree of knowledge of good and evil, to know good and evil. And now let he put forth his hand and also take the tree of life and eat and live forever. Only the woman will eat the tree of life. And I will explain this later to you, that Jesus made commandments to the women and to the men. And they are separate, and people don't see it. That there are 2 gods, 2 trees. The one tree of life is for the women, the tree of knowledge is for the men. And these 2 gods, these 2 brothers, it's all about sexual power, sexual indulgence. That's it. To spread their seed, their semen. That's it, people. This book is written by the gods. And these 2 brothers, God Esau and God Jacob, belongs to a family. And people aren't aware of it.